Good evening, Speed Gaming 4, and welcome to the Link to the Past Randomizer Daily Race. We've got a tourney open hard seed, so this is great practice for all of our runners tonight. I am Radical Sniper 99, and tonight I am joined by Lana Bean. How are you doing?
Hey, thank you. I hope you're having a wonderful day.
Yeah, this is good. So, as I said, this is the tourney open hard. At the end of this month, qualifiers for the main tourney will begin. There's going to be 16 qualifying races, and so this is a good tune-up session for a lot of our runners tonight. We will be featuring Kern, Incoherent, High Ruler, and Scoopula. Lana, do you want to go over some of the settings for today?
Yeah, absolutely. Basically, I'm just reading off a list here. There are 48 pieces of card in total. There are 5 heart containers. There's going to be 1 sanctuary heart. 4 bottles will be placed. 1 will be available, and it will be empty. There's no half magic, no armor upgrades. 3 shields are placed, but you can only find 1 of them. 4 swords are placed, but it is capped at Tempered Sword. Those are non-progressive, so you will find the bow and the silvers in separate locations. And other than that, just some green and blue rupees removed from the item pool to account for extra heart pieces. And the only green 20 we're going to find will be the extra 4th sword.
Yeah, pretty much that is all that we've got. We did have 3 of our runners start at Sanctuary, it looked like. Although we did get a Houlihan play from Scoopula here to get that early money. Our Bush Crab is going to be the single bomb drop, so a nice find there for Incoherent. Looks like as well as High Ruler. Kern deciding to just head straight for Lost Woods, getting that heart container. So yeah, as you said, there are still 4 containers and a Sanctuary heart out there, but expect a lot of heart pieces. Anecdotal evidence here, which take it for what it's worth. I have played a few of these and just seen some of those multi-item caves just be solely heart pieces.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting mode. I do like it myself. There's really not a whole lot of challenge defense-wise with the available hearts, but without Blue Mail, the early game could be a little bit harder if Dark World access is early.
Well, and I think that kind of raises an interesting question about, what makes this mode easy or hard. And I think the bigger question here is, as you said, hearts, we're going to probably get up into those double-digit hearts with how many pieces are available. The question is, how do you cope with 1 bottle and no half magic? Those are the 2 really big factors here that are going to make a difference to kind of separate out the ability of our runners.
For sure, the GT climb will be more dangerous, and they won't be able to be as fruitless with their magic use as they normally can be. So, got to take a couple extra precautions.
Yeah, I mean, if we start seeing some Master Sword Trinex or Fighter Sword Trinex, that's usually one of those fights that you expect a lot of runners to want to have that bottle to just feel a little bit safer. You just don't have those options, and we see Kern finding, 3 pieces of heart here in Blind's Hut.
So far, not much to report. Very true. Oh, we do have a bottle for Scoopula and a fire rod out of Sick Kid, though.
That bottle, where did we get that? Was that in Link's house?
I completely missed it, unfortunately. But I think with the other runners not having it, I gotta bet it's in Link's house or maybe the race game.
Yeah, that's the other possibility. Oh, Tavern, according to my Indium in chat.
Ah, thank you for the heads up there.
So a vanilla bottle. And yeah, what that does mean is the fact that we did find a bottle means that all the other ones actually will become blue rupees. So while we have removed most of the blue rupees from the pool for this item pool, the extra bottles that were placed to start have now been replaced.
And we do have a Moon Pearl out of the well.
Not a ton of value, but good to have.
Exactly. One have to rent your bowling ball. Other than that, just a lot of heart pieces and a fire rod out of Kakariko. I guess fire. Yeah. And that bottle.
So yes, as we said, this is the qualifier mode. So there's going to be a lot of talk coming up about the main tourney itself, but there is going to be a set of 16 qualifiers starting at the end of this month. Runners who are interested in playing in the main tourney will be expected to run 5 of them. At the end of the qualifiers, the top 128 runners will be invited into the main tourney. And kind of as a big change this year is not only are we going to have this mode as one of the modes for the tourney, we're also going to have 4 other different modes available for the main tourney brackets or group and bracket stages. Or currently.
And it does look like we have a green pendant and Hera, and a red crystal at Eastern Palace of 5/6, and Desert being a regular crystal.
Kern heading towards Uncle, gonna find another heart piece, already now getting up to, what is that now, 7 hearts, very quickly with all those pieces.
Good tree pull as well. I see an 8-pack in there from one of the tiers.
And we got flippers out of the secret passageway chest.
Good find. Makes doing pull a hand a little bit harder if you don't have a glove, but otherwise, very good find.
Nice use of that bomb there from the bomb guard by Kern.
And with Fire Rod in hand and a bunch of bombs, should be a pretty easy escape.
Yeah, he's got plenty of magic for this after that tree pull as well, so.
And here we have Mini Moldrum K from High Ruler, and we have Bombos, and heart pieces and a cape.
Ooh, interesting find with that cape.
Yeah, not a thing you want to find early if you find a couple other items. That is just a sword and a lamp away from Ganon, but a little too early to think for something like that. Don't want to put too much harm on these runners early.
Yeah, now for this escape play, technically getting into Dark Cross is in logic. We'll see how much Kern wants to put towards that kind of play. Especially because, it'll be interesting to see if we get the Hyrule Castle small key in Dark Cross, which would then put the back of escape in logic.
It would. Very interesting. And with no sword to guide their way, they hopefully know all those lamp locations, or torch locations, I should say. Oh, there's a sword from High Ruler.
Yeah, speaking of sword.
Ice Bride Cave giving the goods today.
Well, and it's unfortunate, I think Kern would really appreciate that sword, and by the same token, High Ruler would have really liked to have those flippers.
Yeah, no kidding.
But all of our runners making early plays towards Hyrule Castle here.
And Kern doing a death warp, got to assume he's going to be doing Dark Cross.
Of course, Kern, pretty well known in the community for doing some of the blindfolded runs, so.
And of course, he's known for a little jump.
Right, but so with all of his blindfold play, maybe he's not going to be too worried about this dark room.
Very, very true. And something else I don't think we remember to thank is Make Work Heard and Lady Laura Linda for tracking today, and Jaxie for the behind-the-scenes work. Thank you all.
Although, unfortunately, Kern really getting bullied there by the snakes, it looks like.
It's like it. Oh, that poor old man.
And Scrupula, unfortunately, just at full health, just having to get wailed on by this green guard. Luckily, we'll do a half-hearted damage for every hit.
But High Ruler going to have the biggest advantage of everybody, having that sword to make those dark rooms just a little bit easier.
Now, Incoherent did get that torchlight.
Oh, speaking of High Ruler, he is stealing a key from the back and gonna take it to do the back of escape.
Very interesting, and not going to be a bad thing for High Ruler having seen what we saw out of the rest of the Zelda Cell portion. Not going to
Oh,
be a penalty.
and Kern finds the lantern in the first check in the dam area.
Oh no,
So
that's
whoops.
Aga.
Yeah, that is Aghanim access with that. Of course, they'll have to go to Ice Rod Cave, but that is Aga access.
That's interesting. That does mean that High Ruler did skip out on the dam when doing that mini Moldorm cave.
They did. And it looks like Kern is going over to check Agina and maybe Desert Ledge for us. But they do have a little hope left. There is the checks with the flippers. There is Sahasrala. There is Eastern as well. So it's not 100% Aga yet for sure.
So Incoherent did finish up the back of Escape. We got no extra nice prizes out of there, so Escape is not the answer. Oh, and I guess Kern not going to Mini Moldorm Cave is a lot more sensible than I realized, as Kern was out of bombs, had one left, just enough to do a Gina.
Wow. Few checks left, but it's almost time to consider. Do you do these extra checks, or do you try and stay ahead of the other runners and hope it's Aga? But then again, the only one who's gotten that sword so far is High Ruler.
So I'll put it this way on my own personal look at what we've got here. And the question I would ask is, what can you do in Dark World right now? And at this moment, there's not a lot. You can get into Dark Worlds, you can go to Pod, and that's it.
It is. You'd have to count on.
I think we really need to look for something to kind of send us elsewhere, like that. Incoherent getting a hammer off of the hobo.
Ask and you shall receive. That would give us Hype Cave West in Southern Dark World, and also Grumpy Pitch up north.
And honestly, at this point, I'm not, I would still check Sahasrala, because if you get anything, you get one of the two gloves. This, there's your Dark World access.
You do. If it's me, I avoid Eastern, but otherwise you pretty much get everything else.
Yeah, and that's the hard part about this. You mentioned the non-progressive bows. It's just a completely different equation. I think a lot of our runners these days, you're used to having progressive bows, and that means, hey, there's at least two of them out there. I've got a decent chance of maybe finding one in Pod or Eastern. Now you're like, there's one. Where is it? I don't want to dip the two bow lock dungeons.
We're already getting some blue ball guesses from chat. Let's not get that sassy, people.
Yeah, I'm not going to put that on anybody. That's a bad place to have to worry about.
Well, Kern is about to get the bad news about Aga. They just need that sword if they keep going east.
Well, and for Kern, I think we're going to get, Ice Rod Cave to eventually checking all of the flipper checks. Whereas Incoherent, is now doing this mini Moldorm Cave. So, but having already done Hobo.
Nicely done from Incoherent. Those mini Moldorms have been giving most people a little bit of trouble so far. Scoopula making the right call going towards Ice Rod Cave for that sword.
It's interesting because all of our runners really don't have a way to look at this Aga play yet. High Ruler, while having done the first play to Ice Rod Cave, unfortunately did not check the dam for that lamp. And it's just looking more and more like this is an Aga seed.
Still avoiding that south check. High Ruler is going for flipper checks now.
Yeah, and unfortunately, money's not really great for our runners either. And as you said, with those flippers, Houlihan's out of the question, really.
It is.
We would need boots or a glove to do a Houlihan now.
This
And
hasn't
don't ask
exact-
how to on the boots. I'm sorry, I don't know.
Well, Scupula, having been the only one who did Houlihan, is still 240 rupees short up to this point.
And I guess the only positive there is, you know, Scupula, if we find a 300 at Zora Ledge or on Zora Waterfall, we're there.
Very, very, very true. It's going to be an interesting next 5 minutes or so to see what these runners do.
Incoherent heading over to the eastern area. Nothing at all at the Zora Waterfall, but we do get a free red potion, so that's a nice trade.
Very, very true. If they are forced into pod, then at least Kern is going to have that option for the mimics.
And the ledge is just 3 bombs. Okay.
Incoherent looks like they're going to make the eastern play, unless I'm mistaken.
And yeah, Kern, unfortunately, realizing a bit of a mistake there. Kern did a full reset.
Oh,
and
gosh.
just lost his sword at minimum. I don't know what else he might have lost on that. But I did see no sword on his screen.
I don't think he saved and quit since his sword, so he's going to be missing a cape, bombos, and sword, I want to say.
No, you're right. He is going back to Mini Moldorm Cave, so Bombos and the cape both lost. Had so much fun the first time with Mini Moldorm, he wanted to do it again.
Exactly. A little bit unfortunate time loss, but fortunately for them, they can skip the checks they don't need.
So Incoherent is giving us that look into Eastern Palace, probably hoping for a way out of an Agaseed at this point.
Scoopula following really close behind.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, I'm looking at this seed and going, if this is a Zora glove, I don't see any runner being able to get away from it. Just terrible, terrible money situation for this one. No real way to grind out money. You know, your best options at this point, if you had to go by Zora, would be either Cackwell or Blind's Hut, and neither is fast or great for anything.
Yeah.
So.
And this could actually work out in Kern's favor. If they feel behind, they may just grab the hammer, save and quit, and do Aga. And if there's nothing in Eastern, they could be still right with the other runners.
Yeah, so Kern does now have that sword, cape, and Bombos back, so.
And they save and quit. Wisely done. But they're not getting the hammer, unfortunately. Maybe they didn't know about that before the reset.
But Kern remembering, hey, tier 1 is magic. Or I think that's tier 1.
No, they only took out one guard and did that.
Tier 2.
Yeah, that could be either or.
Because I thought he already would have been charged up for tier 2.
But they've got their lamp this time. They're not going to get very good news from this check, but it's going to be quick.
Over in Eastern, we do have a vanilla big key. And Incoherent heading for that big chest, but so far, nothing removing us from this Aga play. And I think this is our last reasonable check.
It is.
And it's just the map, so yeah, we unless you have some way to... Okay, and here's the play from Incoherent. I really like this play. Realizing, hey, I need money. And because if this is pod required, if this is Aga required, if this is Zora required, whatever is required, you want money for something.
Very good point. You want to go into Dark World with at least 110 rupees.
And for Incoherent, the first check is going to be the water checks. While there was a check for that hobo, we did not see Incoherent go and do Zora Waterfall, so we'll at least do those.
It
Unfortunately,
sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it looks like Kern's doing a Death Warp, which likely means they're going to be the first one doing Agate Tower.
Yep. For Kern at this point, unfortunately, Rat's only doing a quarter heart of damage is really, really slow, but able to use the bombs to great effect for that.
Here we go up Agate Tower. Chat, you're going to get your blue ball guess wish. We already have a couple of guesses.
And luckily, we at least have a substantial weapon. Kern, and our runners all having that fire rod will make some of the more annoying fight rooms in this climb a little better.
Yeah.
So those gold ball and chain guards, at least we have fire rod to not have to do 8 slashes on both of them.
Alright, they're on fighter swords, so regardless if you're charging your swing or not, those guards are going to still take 8 hits. Scupula getting that bad news about the ledge. Still 100 and almost 200 rupees short of Zora. So if Zora has a glove, that's unfortunate that it gives him no money, but not much they can do right now.
Yeah, and I don't see one of the things you always want to ask yourself as a runner is it reasonable to think somebody did get it? And at this point, I look at the money and I go, if I'm in Scupula's shoes, who is the best situated for money, I'd be like, I did what I could, and I'm still over 200 away. I don't think anybody's got Zora money.
And with the indication we've gotten from enemy drops, there's really no glove. There's really no way to get money easily right now at all.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like we've got plenty of enemies in the bomb pack. I think we had some also in our arrow pack, but in terms of anything truly beneficial, really not.
So we pretty much have a party going on at Agate Tower with 3 of our 4 runners in Agate Tower and our 4th runner joining very quickly.
Now, Scrupula going with the hammer strats, which we also saw from Incoherent, so we do have a couple of weapons. I completely forgot about that hammer. Unfortunately, Kern does not have it. So
Yeah.
South Dark World's out for Kern. So I think in terms of Kern's plays, it's got to be Tapad. That's his only real option. Whereas Incoherent and Scupula, we could see a hype cave to dig game first before even considering House of Dark.
Very true. There could be no progression between the pyramid and East of Pod. The progression could be that hammer to go south, and Kern will be locked out of Dark World very quick if that's the case.
Well, and you had mentioned earlier the benefit of being able to potion glitch pod. Kern lost that potion as well, so.
They did. I don't think anyone else tossed a bottle in there. Did not see it.
I think I saw Incoherent do it.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Chad, I've been distracted. How many blue balls? I don't even know how many we've gotten so far. Okay, so 3 so far, or is that a guess? I don't know. But looks like Kern making quick work of Aga. There's a blue ball. Oh, okay, we're up to 4 now. Thank you for clarifying with me. Oh, we did miss the.
I'm not sure what happened for Kern there.
Uh-oh. I don't know how many hits they've got left, so with that missed shot or all these extra blue balls they're getting, something the other runners are going to get. No, never mind. Okay, so even if they had that last hit, they still would have dealt with that 3 consecutive blue balls there. Ega with all the sass today. Holy cow, so many. There we go.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's missing that energy shot really is just a time loss straight across.
It is. Alright, first into Dark World is Kern, but like we said, unfortunately without that hammer, so we'll see if anything stops him.
Best case scenario would have been a mirror right there on Pyramid Ledge for easy access to Hobo.
Very true, and we'll see what ends up happening. I mean, they could pull a glove out of pod, that wouldn't do too much though.
Yeah, glove would just give us catfish, so... Meanwhile, we do have 3 runners on that Agaphite, and we'll see how they all route this Dark World play. As we said, they all have that hammer, so Hype Cave is going to be the more alluring pick, I guess, just because there's more checks.
It is. I'd say if they came to Dark World with a bow, they'd be a lot more tempted to go ahead and check things. But, oh, we got a map check. Ice Palace and Meyer are the other pendants. I did not see what the other red crystal was. Oh, thank you for confirmation from one of our trackers saying 5-6 at Swamp Palace.
So here we go. Is Palace of Darkness bow-locked? And it looks like Incoherent's actually going to follow Kern in.
Yeah, with that hammer, I'm very surprised, but not a bad move. And they're going to be hammer, or I should say, they're going to be bow-locked out of pod. Does Kern remember they don't have a potion?
We shall see. I mean, Mimic Clip is not an uncommon skill, so I'm going to assume Kern's proficient in Mimic Clipping as well. But I'll be curious to see if Incoherent decides to also try to go through more of this dungeon, even knowing it's bow-locked.
It's very true. I mean, I think South Dark World is much more tempting because you get 5 at Hype Cave, 6 from Stumpy, 7 from Big Game, whereas Pod, well, you're already locked out logically. Expected to get any further without the bow, so chances of actual progression being in the back are very slim.
Yep, and here we go with the Mimic Clip.
And Scupula has elected to stay in as well, so they will either be potion glitching or Mimic Clipping as well.
So here we go with Hype Cave, though. Scupula and Hyrule are saying, you know what, my best bet is south. Let's go and check Hype. We did get the shovel. And yeah, just a shovel.
Oh, bother. If that's the only progression, that'll be a bit of a pain. But on the upside, well, no, never mind. I was thinking Kern would give them a chance to catch up, but they don't have the hammer. I forgot.
And there we go. Kern getting that Mimic Clip eventually. Incoherent going with that potion glitch, which saved a lot of time over that.
It did. To get a check from old Stumpy from High Ruler. Oh, I forgot I did not. Oh, it was a bow. Scupular just checked it. So there's our pod. You can beat pod with what they've got, and the Eastern Palace as well.
Well, and there's the big thing is, it does give us an option that maybe progression is in the back of Pod, and it just, required this roundabout way to do it.
True, and it will actually give Kern some knowledge, if nothing else, about the logic today. We have a blue boomerang from Big Game.
So I think for Scoopula and High Ruler, I think we're going to get that shovel check before heading off to Pod, but I could be wrong, and it looks like, yes, I am wrong, I think. Oh yeah, no, Scoopula's heading to Eastern.
They are. I think they've already gone into Eastern, didn't they? Or were they one of the ones who skipped it?
Scoopula did check out Eastern.
Yeah, all they've got left is a boss, but at the same time, they've got access directly south from that to get back to Pod, or get to Pod.
Only if we get a glove off of Armos.
Oh, you are right. Okay.
Yeah, unfortunate there.
Here we are 30 minutes into the seed, and we are missing a lot of items.
Yeah, the only thing we might not need in this seed is a flute. But all the other major progression items we will need for this seed.
But will we find boots?
One can hope.
Exactly. Plus, it depends on what desert does to us.
We are getting that back of Palace of Darkness play right now. This is where the true core of the items are. Kern giving us a hammer yump, and there is our hook shot.
Hook shot. But without that hammer or no glove, they have no access to West Dark World.
Well, actually, wait, Kern also got a glove. But I was going to say, without the glove, Flippers actually is sufficient.
That is okay. I did not see the glove. Okay, so I'm wrong. Pod has all the logic, and I'm wrong.
So one of the lesser known ways to get to West Dark World is actually if you have the flippers and a hook shot. If you jump in the water just a screen south of the hook shot over spot, you can swim up to a dock and then hook shot across.
You can. Yeah, I forgot. That doesn't come up very often, does it?
No. Definitely a much rarer play.
Okay, but...
Sorry, there was not a glove, it turns out. One of our trackers, Lady Laura Linda, saying it was a rogue tracker, or a rogue tracking interface on us.
Oh,
which
that
does
darn...
happen every so often.
That darn interface?
Yep.
Alright, so that does give Kern some knowledge, though. That pretty much tells them that there's very likely a bow that they missed.
Yeah, it's just a question of when Kern goes for that, because Kern's making his way to North Dark World and is gonna play this out of logic.
They are. With the Fire Rod and the Fighter Sword, they can go ahead and clear out Skull Woods. But without that hammer, they would be locked out of Thieves' Town Big Chest in case that was progression.
Yeah, this could become a cascading issue for Kern. We'll see how Incoherent also looks into this. And here we go. So there's Kern making that play. Incoherent's going to make the same one, except has the hammer.
But they did not make the play to Stumpy yet, so no bow, no pod, no hook shot. Oh wait, they did get the hook shot. They fake. I forgot they did the potion glitch.
Scoopula heading south. I don't believe we got a bow out of Eastern, so... Or a glove, I mean. Yep, Scoopula realizing, oops. Can't do anything there.
Can't blame you, Scoopula. Been there, done that, my friend.
Yep. We've all had those moments. So, great anti-Bob in chat asking, don't know about this, about the whole thing with Kern going out of logic so hard with that hook shot. And I think for Kern, the thought might be, the item I'm missing is the bow. And if it's Hobo or Zora, that's my bow. I don't care. I'm going to assume that's what I missed. Not, I missed a hammer leading to a bow leading to hookshot.
Good news is
you kind
Kern's
of
answer.
assume the simplest chain of logic, and I think that's how Kern's going to play this for now.
Yeah. But Kern will get the idea of what he's missing once he checks Stumpy, though. I'm sure he'll go from Stevestown down south and probably get the bow and realize, oh, crud, I'm missing my hammer.
Yep. No, Kern will very quickly be able to piece that together. So it will lead to it for him. It's just it's the unfortunate fact that Scoopula and High Ruler are going to get to do this massive single dip of Palace of Darkness.
They are.
So Incoherent going straight for the back of Skull Woods. Kern doing a little bit of clearing of the front first. Went in and to the right and now is going to the back.
Not a bad idea. Still only 8 hearts and a fighter sword. Even if you were to pick up a master sword from the front, it would be a check that you really want to have. They may not make that decision if they have the hammer going in here, though, with that damage.
Only problem, of course, is we are going with the most uncooperative boss in all of Link to the Past.
Very, very true. Are they going to actually go somewhere you can hit them, or are they just going to stick up in the corner that you can't do anything about? Green armor and 8 to 10 hearts. Mothula will still take you down pretty quickly.
Yeah, touching Moth or the ring donut attack, I don't know. We'll all do 2 hearts of damage. Of course, the spikes are always 1 heart of damage, so really easy to just get drained.
Oh, and due to a falling hand, unfortunately, Kern is going to have 1 less fire rod shot for Mothula, unfortunate. But Incoherent is in the Mothula fight now.
And Moth is just deciding, you know what, I like the safety of standing over spikes or flying over spikes. I do not fear your hammer or your sword when I am that high.
And there we go. First boss down on Restream for Incoherent with the first crystal here in about 37 minutes.
Yeah, that ties Incoherent up with Scoopula at 1 crystal apiece.
Oh my gosh, I totally missed Scoopula even going into the Eastern. So second runner with the crystal. My bad. It's amazing how difficult it is watching 4 runners at one time.
Yeah. Lots of great action here. 4 runners doing roughly, our top runners in Skull and our bottom runners down there in Pod. But such, all doing slightly different things.
Speaking of from Incoherent, we found a flute. So that does give them logical Death Mountain and East Death Mountain access. And, in fact, Hira as well.
And Kern really riding the line there, does take down Mothula. Very nicely done.
So at this point, with no glove, you're okay seeing that flute. It is mobility, you don't have boots. You really didn't necessarily want to see that with Meyer being a pendant, but right now you'll kind of take what you can get.
Yeah, the Dark Mountain access is the big one. Unfortunately, that does mean we could beat Green Pendant Hera. But we need options, we need mobility, we need stuff.
We do. At this point, we're missing a lot of items, and flute could lead to some sort of progression.
Just a correction to chat real quick. We actually have 20 max hearts in this mode. This hard item pool is actually very modified from the traditional hard pool, as well as the SGL pool. There are 48 pieces of heart 4 heart containers, and 1 sank heart all are able to be found. None of them get replaced, so 20 hearts are possible in this mode. Yeah, this pool is kind of a new variation. So some of the other changes, though, there's only 1 bottle and no half magic. But a lot of the other hard pool things are very normal to what you'd expect.
Like green mail, things like that. You can only get to tempered sword.
To another question, no, Cape and Berna do not have double magic usage. That is functionality changes. We do not traditionally play with functionality changes. One thing you can say about this community, we do not like changing the functionality of items.
Okay, we get a small little heart piece from the chest game, and now Incoherent going into Crystal Thieves Town.
And this will be an interesting question, is there something in the big chest, and will Kern try to full clear this dungeon?
Now, at this point, I don't see any reason for them not to. At this point, they're pretty much thinking they're missing the bow in the light world. They don't know they're missing the hammer, so I don't see any reason for them not to go in.
In terms of the silvers, yes, bow and silvers are separate and both do exist. Silvers are going to be a possible item for our runners.
Just be a matter of where Ganon put them. We're also getting our bumper ledge check here from High Roller. Just a few blueberries.
Yeah, it looks like the purpose of that cape today was just to get us to Aga.
But on that other hand, Incoherent does find a Samario, while not immediately useful, it will eventually be nice to have for Ice Palace if you need to go in there. But Turtle Rock is a requirement no less, so Samario will eventually be utilized.
Unfortunately, Scoopla having to take a long, slow death warp here in the back. No mirror and already getting up to 11 hearts.
Those hearts are piling up with all those heart pieces they're finding.
And blink and you miss it. I did notice a bunny sprite over on Current side. Was that a Stalfos?
Yeah, it is. I think that's the old man sprite.
Nice.
The bunny sprite. I personally, one of my favorite sprites to use is actually the one Scoopula is using, Vanilla Link, because your green armor is vanilla, your blue armor is chocolate, and your red armor is vanilla, or strawberry, I should say, and bunny sprite is a Neapolitan sundae or something.
Interesting.
Oh, there's our glove.
Finally. Whew. A French vanilla glove out of Thieves Town. Very nice find, and really going to feel nice as we head towards the basement, as you can get to Blind Cell without a glove. You just got to go the long way, so we'll take a glove right now.
And very fortunate for Kern, that item could have rolled in vanilla hammer or vanilla glove chest in Thieves Town.
Well, and we do have the small key already, so that means this dungeon was not hammer locked. The question is, was a item hammer locked?
And Moth Bite from High Roller does have a little bit of magic and that hammer. Okay,
we were able to get a couple of really nice hammer shots in.
Also time to find out if that big chest is a concern. It is not.
There's a massive bullet dodged for Kern on that one.
It is, but it will be on the back of his mind. There's an item in that Thieves Town chest, so how scared are they going to be when they find that bow and realize hammer is somewhere in light?
Well, and the question is Kern assuming that it's...
Oh, Kern, you missing an item, buddy.
is Kern going to assume that hammer is on Zora or on Hobo?
Well, that's hard to say. With only 2 checks, though, at the very least, you have narrowed down your choices.
Meanwhile, Incoherent, unfortunately, falling a bit off of the blind script here, and I did miss it, but Scoopula also taking down Helmasaur for a second crystal. So, second crystals really kind of accumulated across the board here. Blinking, you missed it. Incoherent getting blind down. Kern just about to take down blind. Hyrule getting the Skull Woods crystal, and Scoopula getting pod. So that'll be 2 crystals apiece.
2 crystals apiece, and now they'll have access to East Death Mountain as well, Death Mountain in general. So we'll see how quickly one of them makes that play up there.
Yeah, I think for Incoherent and Kern, this is still a play down to Hype Cave. For Incoherent, that could mean a return to Palace of Darkness to finish out that dungeon. For Kern, I will be very curious how he plays this.
It'll be interesting. There is save and quit in the... Once they get Stumpy, there'll be a save and quit once they do that, but of course they will go and check Hype Cave first, but it'll be interesting to see what they run in. I'll pick up that Bloomerang, Incoherent. Gotta do it. And Scoopula finally joining everybody in West Dark World, just in time for everybody else to be leaving West Dark World and going into doing other things.
Incoming bow for Incoherent, and man, Kern getting a lot of the red 20s off of this dig game, so nice little refill.
It's very good. Yeah, he still doesn't know that he may need that money, so he's probably going to keep digging, I would think, but guess not.
Well, I would say for, I'm surprised none of our runners really considered playing out Arrow Game if they are thinking Zora.
They could very well be, and Kern knows they have East Death Mountain access right now, so I guess that's probably one of the reasons they don't want to part for that, but they're about to find out that they made a mistake, but something they can easily recover from.
Well, and the nice little bonus for Kern and Incoherent here is the ability to pair Eastern and Pod eventually. So there are options. And actually, I just realized it. I don't think Kern went into Eastern either.
They did not. I believe they just went straight to... I think they may have checked Saha, but I don't remember if they went to Eastern. I don't think so.
Yeah, so this is actually really interesting. Kern has a few more options than I think we even gave credit for.
We still haven't seen what's on that shovel, I think. Okay, we'll see where Kern goes from here. Stun prize is a fairy, so that'll be useful, potentially.
Yeah, Incoherent and Kern both starting at the Sanctuary for this flute activation, deciding to skip out on Shovel for the moment. I'm curious to see if they go for it.
And then Incoherent is going to Eastern, it seems. Oh! Okay, I didn't even realize that they didn't check Bottle Vendor, but with that lack of money, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it just shows how cash poor we have been in this seed from the start.
I think total, probably 500-600 rupees without without getting those free rupees from Houlihan. Now Scoopula making those light roll checks, knowing very well that there's a hammer somewhere.
Yeah, I'm surprised from Kern. Did we just not make these checks, or is Kern kind of thinking, did I just miss something and forget?
That's a very good point.
I'm very curious what might have happened.
You were talking so much about settings early on that I think we missed a lot of these checks, so yeah, I'm not entirely sure. And we're gonna get our shovel check though.
Yeah, I believe it was pointed out in chat that the shovel was $20, but
Oh,
I'm just surprised that Kern and Incoherent had both skipped out on it for so long.
yeah, no kidding. I missed it, so thank you, chat, for pointing that out and keeping us on top of things.
Incoherent, though, about to walk in on this Armos fight for crystal number 3. Meanwhile, High Ruler is in the blind fight for crystal number 3, and Scoopula is working through Thieves Town.
Burns going to Eastern for their third crystal. Nice fight by High Ruler, stuck to that script.
Nice kind of variation of the Armos quick kill. Also gets the job done, just not the one you usually see from runners. I have seen that low corner quick kill strat, though. Very consistent.
I imagine Incoherent's probably going to go clear out this.
Yeah, and here we go. Incoherent heading into Palace of Darkness to get a 4th crystal, so just going to keep on trucking along with the crystal kills for now. This will be the last crystal we can get. We are close to a 5th. We're just missing a mirror for our next one.
We are. And Kern's checks do make sense, of course. They haven't gone to Eastern yet, so for all they know, the hammer could be here. They're really going to activate their flutes.
And I think after that, I wouldn't be surprised to see High Ruler go finish off Eastern Palace.
It'd be a good play for sure. Either Eastern Palace or Death Mountain. And to answer chat, no, we have not seen any part of Death Mountain yet. They only recently got their glove and a flute, so up until now they have not really had the ability to go here, but High Ruler making the play.
Yeah, I might just be saying, if I can get a bit better of a situation to clear out Eastern Palace, if that means getting a boot, getting silvers, just something to make Eastern fast, I'll wait even a little longer.
Scoopula clearing out the rest of Thieves Town, getting that 3rd crystal, heading up north to Skullwoods. Maybe check Bumper.
I think Scoopula did check Bumper.
Oh, they did, okay.
Yeah, so I think that's good. I think was really just hoping for maybe a sword before making that play to Skullwoods. As you were saying, Fighter, Moth, even, with 12 hearts, Green Mail is still a scary fight.
Yes. And only $20 from Gary up on the mountain, so we'll keep going. Another question from Chad, is Mirror in Spy Cave possible? It is. They have a potion, they have the cape, so I do not see any reason why that can't be in Logic.
Yep, that is completely in Logic now, so it is an option.
And Kern also getting some rupees out of Eastern Palace. Not bad with as starved as the seed has been.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of always the lesser known rupee rooms. We don't see it a lot.
I think the only one I never see in Rando has got to be the one in Meyer, I think.
Yep, Meyer is also a very uncommon one. I think we get a peek at it. Oh no, the bottom right one. Sorry, the switch room has that one in the bottom right. We definitely do not see that.
We don't see that one, and we don't oftentimes see the one just north of the switch near the end of the dungeon. By the time you get to Meyer, usually no issues.
So Kern heading into the Armos fight, Incoherent done with those light world checks and pod. So I think for Incoherent this is clearly mountain plays. High Ruler on the mountain.
It is, and with all that talking, I completely missed what was in Mini Moldorm, I should say in Paradox, unfortunately.
But High Ruler did not want to go to Hera at this time. Kind of surprising, green pendant with hookshot. It's not a bad play to go do Hera.
It's not. With those relative few checks
we got a
they have.
sword.
Oh.
We do have a Master Sword on High Ruler's side.
Okay, so Sword and Paradox it looks like all that we got.
And I just realized, you know what? I actually really like High Ruler's route here of the mountain. I think what we're going to see is we got the Paradox play, and we're going to get Hera into Spike Cave to end.
That's a good point. Only thing they won't be able to check... No, they won't be able to check all that. Okay. You're right, because they didn't climb up the mountain after rescuing Gary, so they don't know what's inside Paradox. So you are right. That's Paradox into Spike Cave doable.
Yeah, because I mean, you're going to have to do 2 drop downs, and it's just a question of what order you want to do them in.
And looky what Kern just picked up. That's that hammer.
And it's going directly to Palace of Darkness. Let's finish off Helma. So, going to be a little bit behind the other runners in terms of crystals. Really going to be probably in line with about High Ruler in terms of progress right now. But behind Incoherent and Scoopula, most likely in terms of the crystal counts.
Yeah, but anything is possible at this point. There's probably going to be some divergence available a little bit later.
Let's see. Okay, High Ruler saying, I got a small key, I got a map. I'm gonna get the vanilla big key.
It's not a bad idea, honestly. I mean, it's going to cost you a lot less time to do it now than it would missing a potential required item. But Incoherent will give us our check inside Paradox. See if that's our play. Or not Paradox, pardon me.
Yeah, the Spec Rock play is not a bad one. I can see either way of doing this. I think for High Ruler, it's, do Hera, then go and do... And was that Mitz?
That was Mitz. Not only was Mitz in there, but they have a 3-hundo taunting them on top of Spec Rock.
What I was going to say was, for Incoherent, going up this climb for Spec Rock first meant Spec Rock probably into Spike Cave, and then doing East Death Mountain to Hera. Instead, completely out the window. We might still see Death Mountain. But we'll also see Dark Death Mountain and maybe a Hera skip from Incoherent.
Well, and looking at what Mitz does for us at this point, 2 checks through Meyer's Shed and the ability to look at Meyer's entry and maybe get into it with Bombas. But other than that, Mitz don't really do a heck of a lot right now. I guess Dark Death Mountain.
Well, and realistically, Go Mode's not as far away as we thought.
Yeah,
we're potentially 2 items away now.
Oh, that Ice Rod hunt.
Yeah, we are just an Ice Rod and a mirror if TR is Bombos. Big if.
Oh, and High Ruler trying to go for the hero pot, but that first one looked a little bit weird, so I don't know if they happen to pick up an item from the mini molder or not. They must have,
Yeah,
because
that looks the way that bomb through tells that just screams having your vertical pixel messed up.
yeah. And a good point from chat, of course. If Meyer is Bombos, that very well puts Pedestal in logic.
And there we go. Very nicely done on that second attempt with the Philly pot.
Oh, look at chat wishing all the bad on these runners. So proud of you. Just kidding.
Remember, someday you could be the runner. Do you really want that? And wow, High Ruler.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well done.
Oh, wow. So, that's huge. Okay, High
That is
Ruler
big.
skipping out on climbing Death Mountain. I think if you look at it in the moment, you'd be like, that's a mistake. You missed out on mitts. Instead, High Ruler finds the mirror. And I don't know if Incoherent goes in to Hera for a while.
Not only do you have to go in, you have to make the conscious decision to go to Hera Basement to get that big key, to get that.
Yeah. And I'll give my own take on the Hera play and the key. I personally look at the idea is if I get the small key and map or compass in the first two checks in a Hera situation, I prefer to do big key pickup because of the added likelihood of a key there.
Okay, High Ruler dropping down, gonna get those mitts as well. We'll see if they still decide to do Spike Cave or just say heck with it, save and quit, and go for Swamp Palace. And Kern is going to be farming for some rupees. Maybe they're going for Zora.
Meanwhile, Incoherent is on top of Death Mountain and is going to open up Turtle Rock and thus not go into Tower of Hera.
But we are going to get our first look at Hookshot Cave and see if that's a play. So High Ruler staying up on Death Mountain.
Going to give us that bomb jump across Spec Rock. Very nicely done.
And Scoopula not going into... not going to go into Hera.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate. That is the absolute worst place for Mirror.
It is. It is. Especially with a few checks available. It's a hard decision to make, but I'd say a lot of these runners are probably going to possibly dip into the Hera area, but are they going to make the effort to go into the basement? I think that's a big question. And just a Pizza Heart for High Ruler from Spy Cave.
Meanwhile, Incoherent giving us Super Bunny, just 2 pieces of heart as well, so nothing really on the mountain, Dark Death Mountain side.
And we are pretty much confirmed to be in an Ice Rod Hunt for Go mode for High Ruler. Of course, High Ruler does not know that. They have not taken those mitts to East Death Mountain yet, but we'll see where that Ice Rod is.
Well, and the hard part is we really have access to everything at this point.
Oh,
wait. Sorry, we are in Boots also mode. Questionable.
Oh, that's true. We do have a Desert Crystal, so there is a decent shot that... well, we're going to find that out in just a minute, I think, because I think High Ruler will probably sooner dip in the desert than they would into Myra, even if they have access with Bombos.
Yeah, High Ruler is going to give us that information, you know. Okay, so it's
Ooh.
Ether for Meyer, but is gonna, give the shed and then get into desert, find out, can I beat this dungeon? Nothing in the Meyer shed. We are gonna see right side of Turtle Rock from Incoherent.
It is a good call. It'll give you some early-ish knowledge if you need the boots, and also if you should be digging out Swamp Palace for more than one item.
Here we go, Desert Palace. We will get a look at that torch and find out
And
what.
Incoherence also in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, no ice rod, so really gonna hope to find it. Small key on the torch. It is a
Ooh.
boots locked desert. Question is, how boots locked are we?
Right. Are we completely boots locked or can we beat it?
We are completely boots locked. We need boots and ice rod for go. And the question in chat of would you do Swamp or Ice Palace first? You do Swamp Palace first. It's a crystal. Always remember A, B, C, D.
Always be doing crystals. Dungeons. Crystal dungeons.
Meanwhile, Incoherent working through Turtle Rock. Haven't really seen anything yet. Turtle Rock is another one of those dungeons that is very slow at the start until you just start finding everything. Scupola, also inside of Hera, did do the basement, so is going to get that mirror.
Very good call.
And this is one of those things, like, this is not a question of skill levels for any of our runners, but this is always a very interesting discussion that comes up when we talk about qualifiers and, big group races versus 1v1 races or these smaller group races for dailies is, how do you clear a seed? Are you going to make skips? Are you full clearing? And in this case, Kern and Incoherent are two definitely more experienced runners in the community, have been around for quite a while. And, Incoherent getting those Titans mitts very clearly saying, you know what, I believe that this is the right play to just follow this and not worry about Pendant Hera. Then Scupola, who's a bit newer, or High Ruler, is going to say, you know what, I'm going to try to clear these things. And it's going to pay out in this seed.
Got a lot of tough decisions to make, and even being the best rando player, you're not always going to make the right ones. So the good news is we're getting a few different checks from a few different runners, so at least commentary-wise, we're going to be in no mode, I imagine, sooner than later.
Yep. Between Incoherent and High Ruler, I think we're going to really start finding out some things.
Kern, did you not do the well? Oh. Uh-oh. Kern, what are you doing? You're forgetting a check?
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening to Kern here tonight.
Okay, Kern's making the right call here, hopefully going up to at the very least check the cave up here. Okay, he's going to get his mitts.
Meanwhile, Incoherent onto Laser Bridge. Let's see if we can find the haha location of Ice Rod of Laser Bridge, because everybody loves an Ice Rod on Laser Bridge.
Except when you don't. Well, there's a lot of love on Laser Bridge, but not much else.
Yeah, unfortunate, no Ice Rod inside of TR today.
Well, Scoopy though, picking up that mirror out of Hera, that's very good for them. And They look like they might be checking some Dark World and maybe doing Turtle Rock as well.
At minimum, I think this will be a check to see what medallion it is. I'd be very curious for Scoopula if that becomes a dip of TR, having access to Swamp Palace. Like,
It's one of those tough
I don't,
calls.
yeah, I don't know if you go in. I wouldn't personally, but I can see the desire to do so.
It's very true. I think I'd honestly be more tempted and scared to go in if it were a pendant over a crystal, because I know how evil the game is. But being a crystal, oh yeah, we're going in.
Well, and chat does, mention we didn't get to see Mimic Cave from Incoherent. If this is a Mimic Cave Ice Rod, Scoopula could find something out important. It could also be Boots in Mimic Cave. Any of those options really does benefit Scoopula on this play. The only big problem is we have no way to Portal Preserve here. Because of that Aga kill, we will not be able to save our Portal.
Hyrule doing the left side swamp play, something not everyone wants to do. Oh, crud.
Yeah.
That's not something you want to see right now.
No, and unfortunately, that is the thing that chat was begging for a while, I feel like. That does give us access to a third pendant.
It does. And we do not have a book to check pad to rule that out, so it's a gamble. It's only one check, and they've got a lot they can check right now.
Yeah, the addition of Mitts and a mirror especially just opens up this whole game.
Does. I mean, K45 and Graveyard Ledge really, really out of the way checks, but are more than capable of having logic.
Yeah, and for Kern and Incoherent, having those Mitts gonna make all these other checks. So it looks like we're gonna see Incoherent working through Smith Chain. A very reasonable play. It's just we know that unfortunately is not the right call. And this could lead to Incoherent doing the Ice Palace dip.
It could. Kern as well, deciding to go ahead and bow out of Death Mountain after getting those mitts. Can't blame them.
Yeah, unfortunately for Kern, or fortunately, I guess, didn't go into Dark Death Mountain from the portal on top of Turtle Rock, so was not given the opportunity to go in.
Oh, interesting play from Kern going on. We have... Oh.
Kern not realizing Swamp Palaces are other 5/6.
There you go. Okay, they have knowledge now.
So I think we should see the Pyramid Fairy from Hyrule next, though. Really convenient play here. Actually, I take that back. I want to believe it, but unfortunately, while Kern was missing Swamp Palace, Hyrule's missing Eastern Palace.
And with an exception of Ether, nothing really out of Swamp Palace.
And Incoherent making the slow hammer pegs play. Really not something a lot of random runners are really happy to do. And only 3 bombs within hammer pegs.
Yep. And Hyruler picks up crystal number 4. Well, do they go beat Eastern Palace and do a pyramid? Do they go straight for Meyer area and do a pendant? Do they go for Ice Palace and do another pendant?
If I'm going to do a pendant, I think I would do Ice Palace. Ever since the discovery of Icebreaker, it's just been so much better of a dungeon.
And it looks like they're going to the Meyer area.
Following progression, I can't argue that as a play. I still say I would do Ice instead, but you do you.
Now it's 2 checks versus 3. I don't think we've seen the green pendant turn in either. I could be mistaken.
No, I think you're dead on that one. I don't think we've seen the green pendant turn in from Scoopula or High Ruler, and that's unfortunate. You know, that's a quick-ish check right now. What if we got a vanilla boots?
Very, very true. And it looks like we have Divergence here. Incoherent picking up a blue potion and going straight for ice. And Scoopula getting the bad news about Desert.
I believe Kern does actually have Arcane of Samaria.
They should. They did beat Thieves Town.
Yeah, Kane was in Thieves, so I think Kern does have it. And yeah, the other thing we got out of Swamp Palace that it appears we missed was the magic powder.
Oh, I did not catch that. But our trackers, thankfully, are keeping on top of things. Looks like it is probably.
Now, Lana, did you notice where we got that Ether Medallion, or do you remember where we got that?
It was left side swamp.
Yeah, so if there's something in Mire, this seed is really saying, I don't like any of our runners, and I want to make you do the grossest stuff possible.
It is. At the very least, it's putting pedestal logic, but it just could be putting something in this crystal or pendant dungeon. Oh, and it's the Godmire, of course. Oh gosh. Well, if this was Ambrosia, you go right to the last, but since it's not, you clear.
Meanwhile, Scoopula heading towards Swamp Palace, gonna continue on this crystal.
And yeah.
And for Scoopula, I think this becomes Pyramid Fairy.
Oh, and Incoherent bowing out after getting the items out of Ice Palace. So if this is a pedestal seed, that is not good.
So far, I don't believe we have found a single item out of Mire, so nothing really gained yet.
Going for cutscene chest. I did not catch it in the firework, but I imagine that chest must have been a small key indicating this is vanilla.
No, we got the big key out of Spike. So it was a map in the north chest.
You are right. Okay, I forgot about that. We mentioned the Godmire, and that's already gone.
Incoherent did check the mushroom, did not get anything off of it, so we did get a save scum on that mushroom. So it looks like Incoherent might give us a fake powder for the magic bat.
Oh, heart piece off of cutscene chest and Mire. Not much going on that one. Oh, Kern taking the unfortunate death from the evil chain chomps. Goes to show you, even with 14 hearts, green mail is not going to provide you much protection.
And yeah, besides the Swamp Palace play, we really haven't seen our mirror checks. Cave 45 and Graveyard Ledge both being kind of forgotten. We didn't get to see Mimic Cave because Scoopula and High Ruler have both not gone into Turtle Rock. And there's the Ice Rod.
Oh lordy. Wow. Oh lordy. So we are in Boots Go mode at this point. And they're betting that it's not pedestal.
And just so you know, chat, this is how bad this seed is being to our runners. This is required Hera basement for the big key to Hera to get a mirror out of the big key chest of Tower of Hera with a required left side swamp for Ether Medallion to get into Ms. Pendant Mire for Ice Rod. So we are really starting to stack up the bad things.
It's the Seed of Dreams, folks. Enjoy it.
Yeah, yesterday we had a completely different flavor of this same mode. So you will see potentially Jet and potentially Slog seeds. So High Ruler is heading directly for TR, saying, I want this crystal. It's got a lot of items. I feel good about potentially finding boots here. There's 2 checks that we had not seen from Incoherent, with that being Mimic Cave and Trinex. So one of those 2 could be the answer for Go Mode.
Could very well be. Or the seed can truly be evil. And there could be 1 check that it could be in.
So Kern about to get to the big chest. Incoherent giving us Quakefish just for 20 bucks.
Scupula making the good decision to go left side swamp, but will they follow that ether?
Well, I think for Scupula, the play is still to go from here to Pyramid Fairy.
I can't disagree with that.
Especially with the Aga kill, it's a lot easier to hit those checks.
Well, and while we've got a bit of a repeat of areas that everybody's going through at this point, let's take this chance to tell everybody to follow these runners. Kern, High Ruler, Scupula, Incoherent, all putting on a fantastic show. And shoot them all a follow.
Yeah, just as a reminder, this, of course, is the Link to the Past Randomizer daily race. We had 10 runners enter tonight. The mode for tonight, Tourney Open Hard, is going to be our main tourney qualifier mode for this year. So we will be having quite a few of these towards the end of this month. Will be the start of qualifiers for main tourney. There will be 16 qualifier races. It is expected that if you were trying to make the main tourney, you enter 5 of them. So tons of details, of course, in the Discord.
Oh, Incoherent going to Hero Basement, so a very good call from them. They also picked up Tempered somewhere. Let's see.
Meanwhile, Scupula taking down Argus. So that is crystal number 5 for Scupula. Tempered apparently being in purple chest, according to Lady Lauralinda.
Oh, thank you. One of our trackers keeping us on track. So not a complete loss from the Smith chain. But that 4th sword still being a question mark. Our other runners are still able to get up to Tempered. But on this hard mode, we'll not have access to Butter Sword. Get a K45 check from Scupula, which is a small heart piece.
And it looks like Scupula going to head back to Dark World. And yep, I think this is the big bomb coming. So we got a chance for boots here for Scupula, which isn't too bad. I mean, it sends you back to Desert, go beat Desert, and then you're right there for Meyer. Might be a little bit more tempting for Meyer for potential go mode for Scupula.
It is, for sure. I mean, you're going to be probably beating Desert first, not finding boots in there. Well, I guess they may have actually checked that already. I think they did. So they would probably go to Meyer.
And of course, with the convenience of having killed Aga, we'll just mirror here and then walk her up the Hyrule Castle bridge and just warp back into Dark World.
What are the benefits of doing Aga?
One of the few.
And of course, there's the consistent save and quit in Dark World, only realize, shoot, now I got my mirror. I have to mirror back to Light World to get my save and quit points.
One of the worst reasons to have to do Spike Cave.
Yeah.
But we get a shield.
Our first shield.
And the boots!
The boots! Okay, Scoopula, we're in no mode. Scoopula is gonna need to go to Meyer, though, to get that go mode. And... so it looks like High Roller really needs to go to Eastern to beat that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that, that is, you know, going Eastern to Swamp Palace was going to be the ideal route for Pyramid Fairy, and at this point, I don't know when High Ruler makes that play, because realistically, you know, TR's the right play here, but after this... Oh, and there's Mimic Cave with...
That's...
One of the great jokes of this item pool, of course, you don't get half magic. Half magic was replaced with a small magic decanter.
Magic in... It's still the same trolley spot as it would be in a normal seed. Okay, is Kern going back into Thieves Town? No, they're not.
Looks like we're going to get Smith Chain from Kern. Unfortunately, Hera is, as we said, like, a Pendant Hera without Mirror is just such a slow play. And you're not going to want to go do it.
It is. I think Scoopula will likely be our first in go mode, assuming they don't decide to do something else. I imagine they would probably be going from here to Meyer, like you said.
I think the only thing that becomes more tempting is maybe thinking I can get more checks per minute by doing ice.
Well, or even the north route through Dark World. You have Bogrocks, King's Tomb, and Graveyard Ledge. I don't think they've checked that either.
Yeah, I think the only unfortunate part there is it is a bit slow to go there. Especially if you're looking to hit Graveyard Ledge. But Bonkrocks and King's Tomb probably is a lot quicker even than Ice or Mire.
Yeah, we'll see if they ultimately make the right call after this. Oh, and there is there's our fourth sword at Green Pendant. Saha just gave us a green 20.
And that's really kind of unfortunate for High Ruler and Scoopula. They could have had Tempered Sword for a while now.
They could have, and especially High Roller, without doing Eastern, they had a very good reason to go back there with that extra green pendant turn-in.
I do see the question or the discussion in chat right now, you know, is this seed bad? Bad's always a relative term. It does have a few things that if you play aggressive, and a lot of runners would play this seed very aggressive, they would get burned. Skipping Pendant Hera, not a bad play, usually, and unfortunately this one leading to Mirror. If you want to skip Left Side Swamp, you shouldn't do that either, as Left Side Swamp would lead to your Ether Medallion required to get Independent Mire for Ice Rod. So it's not terrible, it's just all the aggressive plays you expect from a lot of runners are not the right ones this time.
They are. So to answer that question, from a runner's perspective, yes, the seed is terrible, but from a viewers and commentators' perspective, this is what we love.
Yes, this is interesting. And yes, we did get the silvers off of Land Molus.
Oh my gosh. Well, Ganon just became a lot more doable, even if High Ruler does not end up turning in the green pendant.
And meanwhile, Scoopula is making the play into Misery Mire, so there we go. Scoopula will very soon get the go mode required Ice Rod. Meanwhile, High Ruler, yes, taking down Trinex and shouldn't have anything of importance. Yeah, there's another shield.
Okay, well, our first runner to beat Turtle Rock. Lots of extra steps needed for go mode in this seed, but for the most part, a couple of our runners have played this really solidly. And the other ones are just missing one step to put them in line with everybody else, really.
Yeah, honestly, Scoopola's route here has been very strong throughout. Every step of the way, kind of just making just about the right call, maybe a little off at a couple spots, but really quite online. High Ruler, unfortunately, just missing that Eastern Palace clear to give Pyramid Fairy access. Whereas Kern and Incoherent, finding the mitts before, dipping hair, kind of threw them both off the trail a little bit. Incoherent, luckily, able to get back on track, having made the Hera play. Unfortunately for Kern, just not really interested in making the Hera play right now.
Yeah, it's a little bit tough. And Kern also, unfortunately, had that early issue with finding the hammer, which really didn't throw them off all that much, but still a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that kind of threw Incoherent and Kern off is staying out of logic a little bit, making that pod play before doing South Dark World caused them to miss just a few important things.
Yeah.
Or especially, having to do a pod double dip, whereas High Ruler and Scoopola both able to do single dips.
And Scoopula making the right call, not doing cutscene chest. He's about to get the go mode momentarily. There we go. 130.58. Scoopula is our first runner in go mode. And hates that chest.
Wow. I was going to say that wasn't even a last location for Scoopola and still showing the disapproval.
Yeah, not last location, but no less a mean one. That pretty much tells them that every single pendant dungeon was required to dip. Except ice. Never mind. Didn't have to do anything in ice. Meyer and Turtle and not Thieves Town, Hero were the two pendants you had to go into. I'm so used to Thieves Town being a pendant.
Yeah, it feels like anytime you want that to be a dungeon, you have to full clear. It's not. You get Dark World access, and you're like, I've got Hammer, I've got easy access to Thieves, and it's a pendant.
And pendant, yeah, almost every time. Okay, Scoopula going to finish off Turtle Rock. Unfortunately, will miss out on their Master's, or Tempered Sword, I should say. But has the silver arrows.
Good time to practice your Master Sword Ganon and Master Sword Trinex.
Yeah. Looks like High Ruler will pick up their Temperate, though. Kern making the play into Hera, though. So, they messed up the bomb jump, which they don't know is extremely fortunate for them, or the Hera pot. They messed it up, and that's a very good thing for them. Okay, High Ruler taking the purple chest on a world tour. Most people do take the blacksmith on a world tour, but with that mirror, no reason to. Okay, so Scupula will be the second runner, beating Turtle Rock momentarily. And then we'll pretty much be going into GT at that point.
And I
Incoherent.
just realized Incoherent did, or sorry, Scoopula did take a little bit of a different kind of route through TR, or had visited TR a little earlier, and I don't remember that visit.
I don't either. I think they may. I guess they must have only dipped the first chest or two and been
Yeah, it
done at
looks
that
like we had
point.
a dip of the front three. Because I was like, I didn't see Scoopula go to the other rooms, and I was like, oh, that would be why.
Yeah, no kidding. Missed it myself. It was so quick. Most people, if they go into Turtle Rock, just go ahead and commit as far as they can go. But in their case, they dipped out, which was the right call. And Kern about to be very happy that they didn't get that hero pot on first try. Or very upset, depending on your point of view. And Incoherent about to be an ice rod from Go mode as well.
Yeah, and it's kind of the shock play right now is High Ruler still avoiding Eastern Palace for that crystal.
They are. They're probably about to go, I would presume, unless they don't know that they are. I don't.
I'm very curious here.
Me too. They're going dependent ice over.
Yeah, I even checked High Ruler's stream and does not have. This isn't a mismark or anything. This is really High Ruler just hasn't cleared it and not really thinking about it right now. Surprisingly.
Well, the good news for them is that I believe all three items are going to be quickly gotten with Icebreaker, and they'll probably dip out as quick as I think Scoopula or Incoherent went there earlier, and they pretty much dipped out right in the spike chests, I think.
Yeah, Incoherent was pretty much in and out, so those three items were pretty nice. Meanwhile, Scoopula coming up on crystal number 7 now.
That's true.
About to face off with Master Sword Trinix. Let's see how it goes.
And this might be an actual good time to go ahead and start a little game, because we don't have much time to go until we're in GT.
Yeah, there's going to be 22 locations in the basement of Ganon's Tower. As soon as Scoopula does finish up Trinex, definitely start throwing your guesses into chat, and you'll have as long as it takes for Scoopula to get from Turtle Rock to GT. Now, as of course, there is no bot, but I mean, Lana and I saying you got it right is just as good, right?
Exactly. Internet points plus you get kudos from us. Uh-oh.
And unfortunately, that is going to really throw this off. I don't know. Did Scoopula take a safety door?
No, we did not.
Oh, no.
Okay, chat, we have a little bit more time. I don't know if you call that commentator's curse or not, but if we didn't start it then we would have about 20 seconds. But as we've said before, even with a lot of hearts, Trinex is going to hurt with the green mail. Lasers are going to hurt, pokies are going to hurt, chain traps are going to hurt.
Yeah, at this point in the game, they kind of expected you to have, realistically, you could have up to 19 hearts. You could have blue mail and tempered sword, or actually even gold sword at this point, usually in the base game. So
yes, indeed. So never underestimate the capability of Turtle Rock to ruin your day. Same with the Ice Palace, really. Both are, and Mire, honestly. So all three of those late dungeons can do a lot of damage on green mail. Okay, so we have Incoherent and Desert going to be getting their silver arrows, but otherwise got to go to Mire to get go mode. Kern is in Swamp Palace. Hopefully they do left side. They do need to get that ether to get into Mire. High Ruler just needs to find that Ice Rod, but is putting off Mire a little bit. Oh wait, they didn't put off Mire, pardon me. They're putting off Eastern and the Pyramid Fairy for High Ruler.
Yeah, that is still the surprise play right now. I feel like this is just a moment where High Ruler has kind of forgotten about it.
Could have. But they are digging deeper in the Ice Palace than we did see Incoherent go do.
And Scoopula also did not take Safety Door again, so really just, getting right back on this fight.
Pretty confident.
Yeah, admire the confidence here to go for it.
And cycling through that, I do see they have a blue potion, so maybe they won't be as hesitant to use it this time if need be.
I feel like I think the hesitation is here is realizing there's a good chance I've got a Master Sword Ganon coming, and I want the extra. Down goes the Firehead.
Both of the swords are readily available for Scoopula. Unfortunately, they did skip both of them. But with silvers, that should hopefully not cause too much of an issue. We did manage to take down both Fire and Ice Head without running out of magic. So can save that blue potion. Probably.
Meanwhile, Incoherent done in Desert is going into Mire now, so we'll have that Ice Rod for Go Mode relatively soon. This is really it's turning into a race between Incoherent and High Ruler.
High Ruler turning in Mushroom. And here we go. We're going to get into GT. So anybody who has not put in their guess for the GT Big Key Guessing Game, feel free to put in your number in the chat, 1 to 22. What about you? What is your normal choice for a number in the game if you choose one?
I've seemed to have luck with 7. I don't know. It seems cliche, but 7 feels lucky.
I think this seed's been pretty evil. I usually guess pretty low, but I'm going to go 17 in this particular seed because I think the evil is just going to keep on coming.
And High Ruler is heading back to Eastern Palace, so nice moment there.
Good for them.
Unfortunately, going to really kind of be a rough feel when you realize, oh yeah, there's a Pyramid Fairy.
Well, everybody at this point is on the right path. So High Ruler needs to beat Eastern to get Pyramid Fairy access for those boots. Kern needs to, well, he needs to basically go to Mire once he's done here and then go to Pyramid Fairy for those boots. And Incoherent's about to get into Go Mode. Scoopula is in GT. And we're going to continue on left side for Scoopula. Did we do Hope Room? Is that number 2, 3, 7? Are we up to 7 now?
Yes,
Okay,
we've done 7. Here comes number 8 in the Fire Bar room. And I noticed it on the tracker side, but just verified it on Kern's own stream. Kern didn't do left side swamp.
No. Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh. Okay. Well, It's a decision, and in this particular case, being two items from Gomo, you can't completely blame them there. It looks like they're heading towards Pyramid Prairie, so they are going to get that check done. But unfortunately, Left Side Swamp means no ether. No ether means no mire means no ice rod.
Now, blink and you miss it because Scoopla is still in the basement, but we did get the GT Big Key in check number 9. I think Scoopla was just hoping for a sword.
And they're leaving.
Yeah, they really want a sword.
I need to check an ether tablet?
Yep.
Oh.
So that was number 9.
Okay, number 9. Huh? Let's see. Did anyone guess 9? We've got an 8. We've got 2 8s. No, 1 8. Okay, they guessed twice. No, we don't have a 9.
Yeah, so closest, I guess, does go to Big Bad Dexter.
Yes, indeed. Well done. And you receive an infinite number of internet points and as many A Link to the Past rando seeds as you wish to make. Chi-Chi.
Roll them at your own peril.
Exactly. Or have Sahabot do it and get a little extra sass thrown in with every seed.
Meanwhile, Incoherent heading back up the mountain. I believe Incoherent does have that ice rod, so into go mode.
Yes, Incoherence and Gomo now. Kern just got their boots, so I imagine since they skip Left Side Swamp, they're probably doing those boots checks first.
Yeah, and the unfortunate thing for Kern is just, there's no incentive to go back to Swamp Palace. So all the other checks are just that much more tempting.
Yeah, it's tough.
Now for High Ruler, did go and do Cave 45 real quick, but is going now towards the big bomb shop, so should have the boots momentarily.
Yeah.
And Scoopula into the gauntlet.
Yeah, Scoopula has a pretty commanding lead as far as the restream runners go, and making quick work of this climb. Not easy with the Master Sword. We will answer that in just a couple minutes. Link to the Past Ken. But as it stands, looks like the first restream runner may very well be Scoopula. We'll see. And High Ruler getting their boots.
Yeah, that'll be go mode for High Ruler.
Go mode at 147.09.
So we have a race really between Incoherent and High Ruler. Incoherent should be into GT before High Ruler at this rate. Because High Ruler, Desert's not going to take too long, but that combined with the mountain climb is just going to give Incoherent that little bit of a lead.
Yep, by just a minute or two.
And, even with them both behind Scoopula, this really comes down to how comfortable is Scoopula with Master Sword Ganon. That is not an easy fight.
It does not, but judging by their extra checks and what ether, I'd say they're probably capable of doing it being where they are, but I think they really wanted that sword.
Yeah, the extra checks from Scoopula kind of just screams that they were hoping really, really badly for it. Like, I assume we're going to see top of GT checks from Scoopula here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And frankly, most runners in their situation probably would as well. That's probably an extra 5 or 6 seconds of checks overall, and if you do happen to pull a sword out of it, then great. But as we both know, the other swords are in, Green Pendant, Turn-In, and Purple Chest, so not going to find anything here.
And yes, definitely. At least we have silvers because that means we don't have to do 24 spins. Hey, there's a bug net.
Hey, that's go mode, right?
Yes, in many circles, that is called go mode. We got that big key out of desert for High Ruler, so can proceed now to Landmolus. Meanwhile, Incoherent working on the Trinex fight. Kern turning in green pendant for that green 20. We'll see where Kern starts heading next.
And a good fight from Incoherent against Trinex, making it look like nothing. About to be on their way to GT. And
And
as
that
was,
final prize, just 3 bombs.
yes, indeed, as was said in a commented not long ago, just some antioxidants in that chest. Couple of blueberries.
And here we go, Scoopula versus Aga 2. Your agonometry lesson for the day. Nice double to start.
Nice double. Not trying to overdo it and go for the triple.
That one's a little bit harder, able to get 1. Another, oh, nice double there.
And
Last
Kern,
second to get that second hit.
yeah. Kern never checking what was on. Lumberjack picks up a heart piece.
And that was a 2-1-2-1 for Scoopula off of Aga 2. Meanwhile, Incoherent in the GT basement. Gonna check Hope Room first.
And Ruler picking up their 7th crystal in quick pursuit of Incoherent.
Yeah, just a little more than a Death Mountain climb behind at this point. And here we go. Ganon for Scoopula with Master Sword. That is 12 spins for Phase 1, 12 spins for Phase 2, 4 spins for Phase 3, and then, of course, 4 silvers for Phase 4. Luckily, not the 24 spins. That's a great position for Ganon. Able to get some nice double spins there. And able to do the same here now at the bottom.
Ooh, gotta watch out for those Ganon hits, though. They're gonna hurt.
Yeah, Ganon's Trident and the Fire Bats are each going to do 4 hearts of damage on green mail, so you do not want to touch those. And of course, hugging Ganon is worth 8 hearts on green.
Ill-advised. Yeah, very ill-advised at this point. But
And of course, the hardest part about this fight is along the bottom here, you really cannot get a lot of hits. That Fire Bat circle is quite annoying, so you're really looking for this position, and unfortunately for Scoopula, you want to get behind his head here and get nice doubles throughout this spin. You can really get a lot of hits there, and just was unable to get in behind.
making good use of that hook shot, though.
Yeah, the top left and top right corners are the best spots for Phase 2 spins.
And we have High Ruler, the 3rd of our Restream runners in GT.
Meanwhile, Incoherent into the Mimic chests, or the Mimic rooms, as Scoopula enters Phase 3, able to get through those first 2 phases now, just has to get through Phase 3 now, and of course take down Ganon with that Phase 4.
Don't commentator curse, don't commentator curse, I'm just chatting with myself. Don't say something that Scoopula will regret.
Getting all the Ganon warps, unfortunately.
Oh, good torch glitch with that fire rod.
Yeah, really nice shot there.
Taking their time with this, that is a very good call. Hey, we got one more hit.
Very nicely done.
Yeah, there it is. Well done. GG's in chat for Scoopula, finishing first on Restream.
And we will get those results to you momentarily as Scoopula crosses the bridge. finishing once again first on the restream with an official racetime.gg time of 1:53.50, and second overall tonight. We did have one finish quite a bit earlier from Koi with a 1:46.09, as we are now joined by Scoopula. GG.
GG's.
Thanks. Well, and I'm going to bomb out of the quals for sure.
That was a great seed, right?
Oh, yeah. That ether just sticks in the back of your head. And
Ether and mirror.
Yeah,
Ether, mirror, boots.
Those are three things where they were that I do frequently, with the exception of I forgot about that I can hear a pot with a bomb now. So I got the key first. If I hadn't, I don't know if I would have gone back to the chest, so yay.
Kern kind of did the same thing. They kind of messed up the bomb strats for the hero pot, and they ended up going into basement. Fortunately for them, so yeah, you were not the only one that kind of went with the basement apprehensively.
Wait a minute. Kern messed up a bomb shot?
Apparently.
Well.
So, now, of course, soldiering out a Master Sword finish on this one. Unfortunate, we did find out where the other two swords were.
Yeah, I figured probably... Go ahead.
Purple chest and green pendant turn in.
Yeah, and I really thought about flying over for that green pendant. But actually, I kind of figured maybe it was the ice rod. But I don't know. I guess I had other stuff to do.
You did. You routed very well. So, what are your overall thoughts on the seed? Besides, some of the obvious. Anything that sticks out to you?
Well, keeping on with the swords, I figured probably people are going to come up with them whenever Ice Rod being where it was. So I kind of stood there. I'm like, well, I know what I'm in for now. That's also why I checked Laser Bridge, because I don't like it. It was better than Trinex.
Yeah, even checking Ether Tablet there at the end.
Yeah. I did that one other time and actually did get a tempered out of it. So, like in the same situation, even where didn't find it looking for a big King GT, so let's go out and check it. But we did find all that money that I was cautiously farming, because I was like, well, there's Zora I'm leaving alone. Oh no, here we go.
Yeah, you were the only one of our runners actually to make the early Houlihan play, and the seed just was not paying out ever.
Yeah. I mean, I usually do it in open. Yeah, I figured, sometimes you'll find 1-300, and I don't know, it seems like you either get 0 or 2, so I don't know why I keep doing it. But...
I think we only know of one 300 pile that nobody got on top of Spec Rock, I think. I don't think we saw any other 300s. This was a very money star seed.
Yeah, I dug one out of Rando Room there too, because I went after the key and Fire Snakes.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah. You're going to love where what Ped was. I don't know if that...
Oh, yeah. We're just reading that now.
Quake, oh gosh. Oh, I love Quake. It's the dead rock killer.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, Incoherent into the Ganon fight. Looks like there was a 2-cycle for phase 1, but Ganon positioned in that top left corner. Incoherent just standing right behind and saying, yep, all double spins all the time. Very quickly making work of phase 2 into phase 3.
This is very much a don't blink or you'll miss it Ganon fight, doing a very good job.
Meanwhile, Kern heading into Swamp Palace, gonna get the bad news about Ether Medallion being on left side.
Oh, yeah, that is where that was. Well, that just figures too. I'm so used to it anymore. Yeah.
This was a seed that definitely did not reward aggressive play. Kind of playing it a little bit safer, making the checks in Hera, making the checks on left side Swamp, going independent Mire. All these pendant and kind of slower plays making a huge difference on this one.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of luck involved here. I was scared about ice because it just sits there. It's usually a nice big fat check. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, it looks like Incoherent just finished Ganon. I'll get your GGs in chat, and they finished with a racetime.gg time of 1:59.07, good enough for 4th place overall and second on Restream.
Yeah, we had a 3rd place finish from Ascend tonight at 1:58.14 GGs to him. Looks like High Ruler about to drop in on Ganon. We did have an early forfeit tonight as well, so out of our 10 runners, still we had 9 looking like they're still working to finish this seed. Just a brutal one overall. You don't expect too many seeds starting to push over the 2-hour mark, especially for open.
Right. This seed just didn't give anybody anything early, and everybody hoping to avoid Aga, that didn't happen. Really, just making sure you go into Dark World with that hammer kind of made a little bit of a difference.
Yeah, High Ruler also going, getting through phase 2 there, using cape strats. Not taking advantage of the spins, but still nicely done.
Okay, Kern about to get the very, very bad news off left side here. I think it is their last location, unfortunately.
I'll have to go figure out what the heck Koi did, because even if I don't die on try next, I don't come up with that. And I figured there's...
As we are now joined by Incoherent GG.
GG.
Can't say I'm happy with that, but it existed.
That was a seed.
Were you the one who said you had a bad feeling about this tonight? Who said that?
No, it was Mr. Scruff or someone.
Oh, yeah. Well, I took whoever at his word, so that's... yeah.
Apologies for the quick interruption. High Ruler just finished off Ganon. And is hopefully going to cross the threshold here, and they do. Looks like they finish off with a racetime.gg time of 2:01.26 in 5th place, right behind Incoherent. GG's to them in chat, please. Alright, so give us your other thoughts, Incoherent. What are you thinking?
That my execution is not where it needs to be if I want to do what I want to do in the tournament, but like the routing for this huge sort of is what it is. Yeah. I made a choice to not do Hera and paid for it. And then I didn't have much left, so I guess I'm doing Misery Mire.
Mire ended up being a very good call when you had the chance.
I mean, I have 5 checks in the entire video game right now, I think. No, 4. Magic Bat, Mimic Cave, which is a definite loser, Spike Cave, which is kind of a loser, and Pedestal.
Okay, it looks like we're also joined in the chat by High Ruler. GG to you.
GG. That was terrible.
I feel like we've heard this phrase from a lot of people tonight.
A little bit.
The first hour was the worst, I think, though, even though, you know, the hunt for items at the end was terrible, but I hate linear seeds that just push you one direction and there's no variety or way to split off.
I mean, I kind of lucked out that I had the potion from Waterfall Fairy. I could just do pod first and then find the bow later.
Yeah.
I was very curious about
for me, but I was very stubborn. I knew it was an Aga seed with all the heart pieces, and the fact that there was like it wasn't really giving you anything. I was pretty certain it was an Aga seed, but I was stubborn and did pod, or rather Eastern. Should have just done Aga, and then would have been able to single dip Eastern, and then that would have gotten me Pyramid Fairy a lot earlier. Otherwise, I ended up putting off Pyramid Fairy so long.
Apologies for the quick interruption here. Kern has decided to throw in the towel and did forfeit from the race, but GG to Van Seed.
Yeah, and it looks like Kern is still just kind of playing along to see what he can find.
I think he kind of knows.
Yeah, I do want to talk about that play right after, Aga. We did see a bit of a split. Incoherent, you deciding to go to pod, as well as Kern trying to make the same play. I think Kern's play more forced by not having hammer, but High Ruler, it's saying go to South Dark World. Any particular reason for each of the split? From all three of you, actually, who are here right now.
I mean, I had the money, I had the potion. I figured that worst case, I break into it, find out what's back there. I knew there was going to be a bow or glove somewhere that led to the West Dark World, but it didn't have to necessarily be like anywhere particular.
For me, I just hate dipping pod. I always put off pod, so I figure if I lose because of it, oh well, it's just a play I always do.
And we are now also joined by Kern. GG's.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. But yeah,
It's a rough run.
That's what happens when you don't play for like a year.
I was going to say, we appreciate you soldiering through some of that. There was definitely some moments that I'm sure were frustrating, so...
Oh, I was laughing so hard. But I gotta just say, I was so confused by that freaking logic. Like, I was so confused. I was like, there's no way. I thought I had figured it all out. I was like, there's no way that this makes any sense whatsoever. And then I just heard you mention on the stream, like, oh yeah, right, South Dark World after Aga with the hammer is viable. So when I got that hammer in the light world, I'm like, that can't be it. That doesn't make any sense.
So one quick question for you, Kern. You did have that moment where where you reset and you forgot to save and quit. What happened there?
Oh, that was a weird binding on my controller from some other things I've been doing. So I accidentally like hit some combination of buttons that reset the game, basically.
Okay. That makes a lot more sense than an accidental,
intentional
hitting the console.
reset. Yeah, no, it was, I noticed that my timer was off, and I don't know, I was like starting the race real rough. It's not a good idea to like rush into a race room.
It makes some sense. But we saw you make some interesting decisions early. I thought maybe you'd feel a little bit behind due to that reset. So you decided to go do Agar pretty quickly after going back and getting your sword again. What is that kind of the reason why you didn't do like a hobo check before going to Dark World, or were you going to do that regardless?
I don't know. I think I would have gone Aga regardless. I mean, I definitely felt like, yeah, okay, I need to make up some time somewhere. But yeah, I would have gone Aga regardless. Just with what we had, it just made sense.
Okay, makes sense to me. Very, 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 very much makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, my only hesitation is that like Aga is the pyramid ledge, and then hype cave and 2 more checks, and then maybe something in pod, and like a glove gets me out of all of this. And so I sort of said, okay, I'll do Eastern and see what happens. And the answer is nothing.
Our main thought was, if anything was on Zora, that was going to be so bad because the seed was so money star for the first hour.
Nobody's doing Zora. There's no money in the seed early. Yep. You're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had mentioned Scoopula doing the early Houlihan play, and even with a Houlihan, I think, Scoopula, you were still about 200 rupees away from Zora, just with how cash starved you all were today.
I had to do Eastern rupees or pod money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought about doing that rupee room there in Eastern, and I forgot. And then I'm like, oh. But at that point, I was still thinking about Zora.
Well, everybody else that was playing, you missed it, because I farmed freaking Desert Rock for Zora money, because I was like, there's got to be a second glove on Zora. There's no way this makes sense.
Now, speaking of Eastern, I do want to ask, High Ruler, you kind of avoided it for a little while. Any thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I already explained. It's because I dipped it already. And there was only one more item inside. And I didn't want to go back to that area until I had nothing else left.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it turned out Pyramid Fairy was the answer this time, I swear it hasn't given me anything for like the past 10 seeds, so of course.
Yeah,
It's
that was
always me
unfortunate
can't do
because
it.
I think the other three runners were, did Eastern a little earlier and then hit Pyramid Fairy after Swamp Palace.
Yeah, I didn't have boots the whole time, and I practically full cleared the game.
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't do was I didn't finish Mire. That was it, and Pulped. And I'm trying to think, was there anything else I didn't do? No, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was awful. But I was so happy when I found that ice rod. I thought I actually was making a comeback after I was so behind because I figured I was probably the last person to do Aga, or at least pretty close to last. So when I did Left Side Swamp for Ether and then did the play into Mire, because I'm like, at this point I felt behind, I'm like, I'm going to go ahead, just do Mire, see if I find boots or ice rod inside. I was so happy to find that ice rod and know I could single dip TR, but unfortunately because I put off Pyramid Fairy so long, it ended up not working out as well as it could have. But my time could have been a lot worse if I hadn't found that ice rod.
Yeah, I mean, I almost last location in the mirror. So once you get the mirror, my outs are like Graveyard Ledge and Mire or something. That's why I did Graveyard Ledge even with the boots. Just like, I gotta check these before I go to Desert.
My decision making with Hera, this is how I do it. The reason why I did not last locate Mirror, it was a green pendant. I was already on Mountain, so I was always going to dip Hera.
I mean,
but
I'm not saying it's a weird play to make. It's definitely a thing you could have done. That's part of why I avoided it, because I didn't do it the first time. And then I had sort of the choice between Smith Chain and Ice and Hera, and I chose the other two. Like, all these are sort of reasonable decisions you can make. It just didn't work out.
Oh yeah, no, I was just going to clarify like why I did Hera Basement, because some people will skip that, but I always check the first two chests, and if there's an item, then I'll skip Hera Basement if it's the big key, and just gamble, and if it's not, then I will go ahead and just grab that big key.
Yeah, I usually do the same thing, where if I have an item on the first floor, then I will Hera Pot, otherwise I'll go get the big key.
Yeah, so that's how I did that play.
What I do is I just forget how to Hera Pot, and then I don't do it for that reason.
Oh my gosh.
Exactly what I did, by the way.
I mean, I play most cross keys, so Hera Pot is more of a thing.
Yeah, Hera Pot is, I don't know. I have not been able to do it consistently. I don't know what happened, though. It was just not working for me, so I had to step outside and go back in, and then it finally worked. So I think
we think we had the explanation there was you picked up an item as it was floating in midair.
You kill the Moldorm, yeah.
Yeah, if you kill the Moldorm and pick up the item that it drops before it hits the ground, it actually messes up bomb jumping or bomb pushes like that, and that's why you had to head outside and reset yourself.
Got it.
Okay. The same thing can happen if a fairy drops as well.
You actually see it very commonly with Paradox Cave.
Yeah, Paradox can do it because that one is sort of hard to keep track of the right mini Moldorm, which is the middle one, by the way, in case you're wondering. There's one for, like, this is also why people don't do hammering up from the top, because the top mini Moldorm is the one that does this. And if you play Randomizer, you can have this nice Palace Bomb jump as well, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so that was kind of annoying, because I should have just climbed at that point, but I was stubborn. I was like, why is it not working? So I stepped outside and then went back in, and then it worked first try. I was like, well, of course. So
yeah, game's weird, man.
Yeah, it is. So, but I'm pretty happy with my time, even though it's my first time in an open over 2 hours in like 2 months. I'm still happy with it because, I mean, almost full clearing the game without boots, and I still got that time. I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I flew, and especially finding everything as snappy as I did, and then I'm looking at the time like, well, what the heck? And I guess it's probably the whole early game taking a while there. Not just Aga, but then having to go South Dark World and and then using the hook shot to get over to the west. That just kind of adds up, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, those being the required routes, for this seed, not a lot of opportunities to kind of save time at places. Honestly, Scoople, I think you had pretty close to the ideal route for this seed, so...
Yeah, I don't know. Usually it's when you have to do ag, you're supposed to go pod, and I never do, and I still don't learn, but I guess it worked out this time.
Well, that kind of leads us to a good question here is, does the... Here's your tourney qualifier mode. Does the non-progressive bow change your decision? Does it make pod a little less appealing without one?
It does for me.
I don't know how much difference it makes for me. You don't expect to find the bow in pod most of the time because of the way the key logic works. Like, you're going there because you figure there's a bunch of items back there and that might be progression.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of bows in pod, and I've seen a lot of 2 bows in pod, actually. But...
maybe it's because I've been around since before progressive bows went into the game in the first place, and I'm just like, okay, we'll just do that again.
Well, that's definitely been one of the interesting pieces here, I think, as one of the, I guess, I've been around only since progressive bows, and, I've always been curious to see the feeling of the quote-unquote older runners who are used to it and go, yeah, I liked progressive bow or non-progressive bows, and then the new crowd's more, I love progressive bows. So, and it definitely has an interesting take on how you look at those things.
I mean, as you know, Jesse, I play SMZ3, so I
Yes.
do that all the time. But I'm on a separate bows camp for the sole reason that when I see gens and somebody finds a wrong bow in an earlier or equal sphere, then it kind of you'll have somebody finish like 20 minutes earlier, and I've seen it.
Yeah,
happen.
I think there was at least one tournament qual last year where that happened, where just somebody found a bow in a really stupid place and finished 10 minutes ahead of everyone.
Yeah, there's pros and cons to both. I actually like playing with both versions. I don't really have a preference.
I mean, the downside of non-progressive bows is you get silvers and CAC, you can't use them for 2 hours.
The real thing is that with progressive bows, it's a lot less likely that you'll have to mimic clip up GT for go mode. And that sucks, man. We should be mimic clipping up GT a lot more often than we are.
I can't mimic clips, so I can't agree with that. I can barely do Icebreaker. I can never get the pixel perfect turn. It just never works for me. At least with my controller.
I know,
So
I'm terrible
I-
on frame taps.
Multiple tries.
I'll put it this way, early silvers makes the game easier on account of no vampires.
I mean, to not memeing, the thing that's more obvious with non-progressive bows is that the game has to give you the bow as opposed to a bow. Like, it's more obvious which one is the logical bow, and you can sort of read that better. So,
Yeah,
for
that's
example,
been-
in the seed, you know
True.
there's a bow or a glove somewhere accessible on, like, South Dark World, Zora, or Agina.
Yeah, that's been I think that's been the common refrain I've heard a lot from the more experienced crowd, is just saying, I like to be able to discern the logic that much clearer. So,
I've tended to see that I'm with that because anytime there seems to be some sort of mitigation of an item hunt, it just results in a different one. Whether that's fad keys or combine the bows or whatever.
This is also my first time with the tournament hard pool, and I have 17 hearts and every other item in the game, so...
yeah, the big changes, of course, are that 1 bottle and no half magic. I think those are the 2 that are going to have the most effect on runners, I guess. And I use that phrase lightly, knowing that some people won't care about less bottles and no half magic. But those definitely seem to be the 2 biggest factors.
Like 90% of CAC, I think, was heart pieces too. So I'm gonna
Yeah, and just get a bunch of refills mid-game too, because you keep opening chests, keep eating heart pieces.
Yeah, I think that seed could have been way worse if there weren't so many hearts. But because there were so many hearts, it, even with only one bottle and mostly fighter sword the whole time, it wasn't that bad.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but I just did like the coolest thing ever in the room where the big key is. So, just saying.
preview time. Yep.
And
Yeah,
I've never had anybody on stream notice when I get it before.
Oh, there it was. That was cool.
Nice little use of that hook shot.
Oh,
I
Just
also
saying.
saw you. I saw you bonk that snake in the big room. By the way,
Bonk the
Do a-
snake.
bonk over the snake, the fire snake in the invisible floor room outside of Ice Armos area.
Oh, okay.
I know that was
yeah.
a little more common, but
Yeah, I just want to say that that stupid tech in the fire snake room saves like frames, and it's like one of the hardest things to do. It's so hard. Anyway,
but I
That's the
guess
pass for you, yeah.
I guess any other comments before we start closing up shop for tonight.
yo, whoever rolled this seed,
Yeah, Jaxie needs to stop rolling. Every
Have
time.
renderer gets all the seat rolls.
I don't know, every time Jaxie rolls the seed, it's bad. I swear. It's pretty funny. Although, of course, the one time I rolled right before Jaxie, it ends up being the book on Ped seed. So I guess I can't really talk.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
The rando hits everyone equally, seed rolling is superstition.
Yes.
Well, yeah, but it's still fun to just joke around with it.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. You're talking about refills of all these heart pieces. I think you're going to see it come up a lot with the qualifiers. Is death warping getting screwed up? So there's watch for that.
oh yeah, that's interesting.
Hmm.
Hey, what's up with that small magic I found in a chest? I haven't played the game in like a long time. Is that new?
That's half magic.
Oh, what?
Yeah, there's no half magic in this mode.
Oh, so it like indicates that that's what the item would have been.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
They did that for the SGL this past year as well.
That's really sick. Good job, Sinek. I mean, I know it's not just Sinek, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
shout outs to the dev team for that replacement in terms of this specialized hired item pool.
Half magic refills you, so I figure, well, they'll get rid of the half magic, just give you a full decanter. Have half the functionality. Okay, cool. Nah, here you go, have a little one.
And from what I was reading, it sounds like the only 20 green rupee is the extra sword, if you find it.
Yes.
Okay, so this time, because SGL, there were a couple things that turned into 20 greens. So now you know for sure that it's the sword.
Yeah, on green pennant.
So, but anyway, that was awful. Thanks for having me. It was still fun. But yeah, I'm going to take off.
GG's again. Thank you for joining us.
Yep, GG's.
I guess anything else from Incoherent, Kern, or Scoopula tonight?
And just the usual. Thanks to both you, Lana Bean and Radical Sniper 99. The wisest two people on the stream here tonight.
Yep, thanks to all everyone who put this on, for putting my bad execution on restream for hundreds of people.
You did a great job. We appreciate it.
Thanks to Lady Laura Linda and Maddie Walkert for doing the tracking as well. So I think that's usually Com's job, in which case I'm sorry. I guess I'm used
No,
to
that's
it.
fine. I was going to
We
say,
appreciate
Shizzler, I've done it to comms before as well. You're used to calming, so what do? You start giving thank yous and you say those things. So
Yeah, and doing more of the setup and all that stuff lately. So I'm like, well, if I'm in a server, maybe I think that's what we're supposed to do at the end. Oh yeah. Yeah. So.
But yeah, I guess that's going to do it for us tonight. Once again, please make sure to give our runners a follow for putting themselves out there to for all of our entertainment. And of course, shout outs again to our trackers tonight, Matt Ewalkert and Lady Laura Linda. Always much appreciated. Yeah, I feel it's easy for us to do talking, or at least that's my opinion. It is hard to hit buttons and pay attention to all these runners. So thank you to them. And of course, it has been a pleasure to work with you tonight, Lana Bean.
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you very much. It was very fun. You made it a very fun commentary. Thank you so much.
And of course, do not forget this is our tournament qualifier mode for the main tourney. The qualifiers will begin towards the end of this month. I believe it is the 27th will be our first qualifier. There will be a series of 16 of races in this mode. Do try to check those out, and if you have any interest in joining the tourney or trying to qualify for it, you will be looking to join 5 of them. So hope to see plenty of you out for those. And of course, there's always check out the Discords and all the speed gaming channels to get more Link to the Past Randomizer and plenty of other great speed gaming content. But with that, we are going to call it a night here on SG4. Have a great rest of your night, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye.